if you remember, we went to Fred's bachelor party. And at the bachelor party, Fred drank 15 tequilas. Maybe 16 at this point. Followed by a beer each time. Period, yes. Followed by a beer at each time within 2 hours.
I really, you know, even the 16 tequilas would be enough. But 16 beers.
Yes. And Fred, some of those tequilas were served to him in a champagne glass or something.
So they may have been double shots.
Yeah.
Right. We don't know what he had, but
funny, do you realize how much volume that is? 16 beers. And Fred didn't get up.
Well, let me tell you something. To make a long story short, because we've gone through this story ad nauseum. Fred passed out, flat on his face. We thought he was dead, so we told Gary, quickly call the EMS, because we had to get Fred to the hospital.
Right, you thought he was dead.
He was bleeding from all over. So the EMS people were nice enough to send to us.
Did you ever get down and actually touch Fred when he was in this condition?
No, I don't want to touch Fred. No, I've learned that you don't touch someone when they're in that condition.
No, I mean, he's laying on the ground. Did you take his pulse? Did you?
No. We were very fortunate that one of the strippers was a trained paramedic as well as the chef.
But she wasn't right next to Fred when he fell.
No, but they got him within 2 seconds.
And she was taking care of me while Dominic lifted her dress.
In other words, you never went near Fred.
Absolutely not. I know. I've heard every article I ever read. Don't touch the body.
It didn't say don't touch the body. You have to, if you see somebody drop, you have to determine whether they're alive.
No,
or not.
I did. I was down by him. Did I physically grab his head? No, I wasn't going to grab his head.
I didn't say grab his head. No. I said, did you take his pulse?
No.
Did you check his breathing?
No, I don't know how to take his pulse, and I don't know how to check his breathing. Plus, a girl. I was in the middle of a lap dance.
Oh.
Don't forget, Fred had just vomited on me, Robin.
Yeah. And we were all afraid of lawsuits.
That's right.
All I know is that poor Fred had to rely on a stripper because none of his friends would touch him.
Yeah, well, if you saw the blood pouring out of Fred, you wouldn't touch him either. Anyway, so here, just
keep in mind that I walked into the room and somebody just said, call 911.
So I didn't take Fred's pulse. I couldn't take Fred's pulse now, let alone there.
I didn't know what was going on. Somebody said, just call 911.
Right.
You wouldn't know how to check to see if somebody's heart was still beating.
No, I wouldn't. I do not get in.
You are worthless.
I am not in the medical profession.
You need to hold your glasses to his mouth.
Oh, please. I'm not going to put my glasses to his mouth. You put your glasses to his mouth.
I figure he saw Fred bleeding and he ran the other way.
No, he was there.
I was there, believe me. I saw what was going on.
Away.
In fact, I was the one who first pronounced Fred dead. I was ready to bury him.
Across the room.
I said, Fred's dead. That's it.
That's it. History.
That's it. So here's Gary, who quickly called. First, he called his machine to check for messages, and then quickly called EMS. I just want to hear, because this should be interesting. I have not heard this yet, by the way.
Poor Fred. It's lucky Fred's alive.
I tell you.
Police 1092, where's emergency?
Yes, it's at a club called Scores. It's on 60th between 1st and 2nd.
East 60th Street between 1st Avenue and 2nd Avenue?
That's correct.
And what's wrong there?
Somebody fell down. It looks like they might have cracked their head open.
Okay, and this place is called Scores?
Scores.
S-C-O-R-E-S?
Yeah.
First floor?
Yes.
What's the number you're calling from?
What's the number here, Lonnie? 421. 421.
Hold on for EMS. Don't hang up the phone.
I won't.
Okay.
I can hear her.
You mean that's all the information you haven't even talked to EMS yet?
Right.
I can hear her giggling at your teeth. Do you hear her chuckling?
Yes, yes. No, you can hear can you hear the music in the background?
Yes. But what's interesting to me is that Gary, instead of telling them what's wrong first, gives the address.
That's what they ask you, Robin. What are you, crazy?
I didn't hear a question.
Oh, what are you...
Hey, come on, he's handling himself pretty well. Don't nitpick.
Maybe he would have gotten to EMS sooner.
Fred's laying on the floor. It looks like John Lennon, and Gary's holding his... You kept your composure. No wonder you're so anxious for us to play this. You really kept your composure.
She asked what the address was.
Right.
Fred's still bleeding.
EMS 8629. Okay, 8629. I'm 1092. I'm Manhattan call on the line. Thank you. Caller in Manhattan. Is the patient awake and breathing?
I think so, yes.
Male or female?
Male.
Awake? How could you say he was awake?
I didn't know. I walked into the room. Fred was down. I didn't see anything. Dominic goes, quick, call 911. I was in there for half a second.
Well, then you're in the room. Don't you ask what's wrong?
Someone said call 911 quick. Nobody had time.
Yeah, but I mean, the guy was unconscious.
I did not see that.
I did not know that.
You didn't see him laying on the floor?
No, I didn't. I mean, I saw him on the floor.
But you were the wrong guy to send.
Gary's always the wrong guy.
I know. Yeah, I think so. Well, we'll take our time if he's awake. Well, why doesn't he walk over to the hospital?
Is he male or female? I think he's male.
No, you know I didn't say that.
How could you say he was awake? The whole point was he was unconscious.
Oh, everybody knows now. I couldn't see that then.
Approximately how old?
35.
What happened to him, sir?
He fell down, and I think he might have smashed his head open or something.
You know what it is? You got to sound like something's real bad, too.
Well, this is really bad. Fred's unconscious.
Yeah, but Gary...
He's lying in a pool of blood.
Gary backpedals.
Hey, Howard, there were people that were saying, oh, don't call 911.
Yeah, that was Ralph. No, one guy was saying
somebody
that.
Said, should we call? No, we don't need to call. Maybe we better call.
No, it was Ralph. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
In all that debate, you never looked over to see what condition Fred was in?
No, I didn't.
He knew what condition he was in. He gets confused by the questions.
Fred.
How could I tell he was unconscious, both?
That's all his eyes closed.
He wasn't moving, but I don't know. Maybe he could hear me.
He might have been just taking a rest.
You got to say everything is bad. You call EMS.
Easy to say now.
But you weren't even telling the truth, Gary.
No, I can't tell. You know what?
What? Did she just say, is he bleeding? And you said you can't tell?
I could not tell.
There was a pool of blood around him. Was pouring.
I didn't see a pool of blood.
Oh, my God. No wonder they took so long.
They didn't take so long.
They would have been there faster.
They were there very quickly.
They were there in 2 seconds.
What's that?
They would have been there in 1 second if you told them they were bleeding. It's a miracle they showed up. God bless EMS.
Thanks, because Gary's giving them all.
The way Gary was making it, probably the woman would have said, hey, you know.
Bring him to the hospital yourself.
Yeah, what's with you guys? He's not bleeding. He's conscious. How could a guy split his head open and not be bleeding?
Only in Gary's world.
You know, this is a great defense for you. You know, people complain about the EMS service.
This is the kind of call they have to decipher.
Yeah. If you were an EMS worker, you would assume that everything was not that bad.
He cracked his head open and there's no blood.
You guys are the biggest...
He's conscious.
He's a cracked open head with no blood.
I believe he's eating a burger with some ketchup.
He's getting another table dance.
Howard,
I see sliced onions.
Is there anything?
But if you could drop by here and just take a look for yourself.
Is there anything in the world that you and Robin can't do better? Is there anything?
Oh, this I definitely could have done better.
Then
this I know I could.
Then why didn't you?
Because I was assisting Fred.
Doing what? You were standing on the side.
He was making sure that
Fred needed me.
You already just said you didn't take his heartbeat, you didn't take his pulse, and you didn't feel Fred or anything.
Do you know who I am?
Howard Stern.
That's right. Who are you?
Baba Booey.
What is your job? What is Baba Booey's job? To make calls.
You want.
Right. When we have emergencies, you ought to take care of them. You got to handle yourself in a more brilliant way.
I can't imagine that you see a bunch of people crowded around one of your friends and you don't break through to see what's going on.
He knew what I saw. Baba Booey. He knew what was going on.
He's standing there. First he said
he panicked.
He walked in and somebody said call 911.
No.
Then he's telling me he stood there while there was a debate as to whether to call 911.
He was there. Gary saw Fred's body. Fred was laying unconscious with a pool of blood. And Gary choked on the phone.
Let me explain to you what happened.
And thank God the EMS worker.
The entire debate
through Gary.
Thank God the EMS worker was conscious.
Would you guys shut up?
Can you believe this guy?
Am I here?
And he saw everything.
Am I invisible?
He's amazing. I can't believe he did that.
Gary saw everything. I remember him standing in the room.
I don't think he's conscious, and I don't think he's bleeding.
Because he doesn't listen. This is the same thing when I tell him back in the office to do something.
What, does he not believe his own eyes?
No.
Robin, the entire debate took place.
I don't trust my own vision.
You can shut up because you weren't there and you don't know anything.
Where is the Gary puppet?
Oh, my God.
Where is the Gary puppet? I want to talk to him. That's who I'm interested in speaking to. My right-hand man is a panicking dope. Gary puppet?
If you think this is bad, you should have heard what my uncle did back in Dallas in 1963.
What was that?
Hello, Dallas? Mr. JFK is in the car. I think he's car sick. He seems to be conscious, and his wife doesn't seem to be too upset.
Is that right?
Had a real big beat on the situation.
Thank you, Gary Puppet. What is it, Stuttering John?
We got one of the paramedics on the phone who was in help with Fred, and he saw Fred's body naked, and he could tell us about Fred's private part.
Oh, really?
Really? You saw Fred naked? Are you naked?
Is that proper?
Hey,
is that proper medical etiquette?
You saw Fred naked?
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I wasn't one of the paramedics that actually brought him to the hospital, but I was at the hospital when he was brought there. And I was in the back of the emergency room. I had just finished bringing one of my patients, and the doctor quickly pulled me over to assist him to take him off the devices that he was put on, the collar and the board, and we had to cut his clothes off to further examine him for any other injuries.
He's a liar because Fred took his clothes home in a bag.
Yeah, what's he talking
Nobody cut Fred's clothes off.
Yeah, you're lying, aren't you?
No.
Okay, wait a second.
Listen. I'm a little nervous, but I was there. Ask me any questions.
Okay, is Fred... I don't know how to say this.
No.
I'm not going to get into...
All right, describe Fred naked. What did you see? Any distinguishing marks?
Like what do you mean, like birthmarks or
anything anything unusual. Tattoo, anything.
Something that would be identifying.
He had an earring.
All right.
Down there?
No. And his cut was right on his chin, where I put the plastic collar on him.
Yeah.
But he was basically naked. That's right. He had his underwear on, and that's about it.
Oh, so you didn't see his penis?
I did, but I don't want to get into that. I just heard Fred, because he's right. You should have...
Oh, it's all right. We were giving you permission.
We want to make sure it was Fred.
Yeah, we want to make sure it was Fred. We want to make sure you know what you're talking about. You saw Fred naked?
Absolutely.
And what did you see?
I saw OJ.
Well, what do you... What do you want to know? I mean,
tell me what you saw. Was there anything unusual down there?
Fred has something unusual about him. If you saw him naked, you could identify Fred.
Oh, I know, but I don't think I could... I know what you're getting at.
What were we getting at?
Whether he was circumcised or uncircumcised?
Oh, this guy must have seen.
Fred.
Let me ask you something.
That doesn't mean anything.
I can tell you, but I'm not.
Well, tell me.
I can't.
Well, we all know. We've said it on the air. Is Fred circumcised or not?
I can't.
Come on. We all know.
I got to tell you something. This is my worst nightmare.
That's cracked your chin?
Yep.
They would have been calling to say, we saw Howard naked.
Yeah, and he's right. There's a little nub there.
This guy told me that Fred was well endowed.
I'm not going to say whether he was circumcised or not, but...
Then what'd you call?
As far as about the button, he doesn't have to worry about that.
About what?
About him having a button, he doesn't have to worry about that.
Oh, yeah, he's well endowed, huh?
Well, in my job, I'm forced to see a lot of body parts.
Right.
And he doesn't have to worry about that.
He's
really?
well represented.
No kidding.
Absolutely.
I always thought Fred had a small one because...
Would you say that Fred is above average?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, good for you. I always thought Fred was kind of tiny because Fred always is hiding it.
Yeah.
Like he's worse than I am.
But I think that's because of his circumcised or uncircumcised
and I have
state.
certain things that I have to take care of.
What does it do, Fred?
Oh, that's right. When you're not circumcised,
kind of
you have to.
How do I put this without somebody going insane?
You need toilet paper.
Dribble.
Right.
You do dribble.
Yes.
He really was totally out of it.
He's got a fuck. Was Fred dribbling as you?
I'll have to explain to you off the...
No. The doctor was examining him, and I was just...
I wonder if Fred evacuated during this because he had lost all control.
And think of how much he had drank.
Yeah.
No. He was
that out to my...
Wouldn't it be great if they were examining Fred and they found out that Fred always hides his weenie is because it has an eyelid on it and they can see?
Lashes.
Yeah, it actually is a person.
He's got a cyclops.
You winked at the paramedic.
Yeah, right. So you mean if a guy comes in for a chin injury, you guys have to undress him and see him totally naked?
Well,
of course.
We don't know what was before that. I mean, from what I understand from the other from the paramedics that brought him in, he had fallen. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Well, you want to examine him for any other injuries.
Do me a favor. If I ever fall, don't examine my penis.
No.
I don't care about anything else.
Poor Fred's penis.
You could have examined Fred in his underpants.
No one's examining your penis, but all the clothing comes off. Everything, socks, underwear, T-shirts, everything comes off.
I don't want that.
They have to catheterize Fred?
No.
Oh. That hurts just to say it.
No.
Every guy just crossed his
Oh. I hate when Robin does
Fred
that.
loves that.
Ooh. I see catheter.
And I'd be very nervous.
I see fully catheter.
Yeah, so... Oh, he's turned his radio on. Yeah, right.
No, I'm here.
All right. So anyway, what you're telling me is when a guy gets a chin injury, he's got to be naked on the table. My worst nightmare. That's just what I thought.
Well, when somebody falls and is unconscious.
Hey, you guys did a real good job with Fred, though. I got to admit, you guys came real quick. Judging by Gary's idiotic call, you guys should never have shown up.
We haven't even heard the rest of the call. Whatever made them come, because Gary said Fred's fault.
I have to tell you guys something. You were lucky, the crew that responded to Fred.
Yeah.
They're like one of the best in the city.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, they're my coworkers, and they were really excellent. So this Fred really got like the best pre-hospital ambulance care that he can get.
Yeah, what kind of accent you got there? Spanish?
Yeah, Spanish.
Hey, so did you go through Fred's pockets?
Yeah, I want my $20 back.
See, I see $20.
I don't have an accent.
You don't have an accent?
No.
Oh, come on.
Nervous, that's all.
He's got
Born and raised in the city, I have no accent.
Oh, please. Castro laughs at your accent.
Give that Fred Swiss Army knife.
What is it?
He says he has no accent.
I know. He doesn't hear it. He thinks you have an accent. All right, my friend.
Ricardo on the phone.
Lucy, I am home from the club.
Howard, can I ask you a question?
Certainly.
Who was the guy with Dominic Barbara? Who was that?
His son.
That was his son.
Oh, he was walking around like he was an FBI agent.
I know.
He had glasses on, and he was like
when your
walking
father
in front of him and opening the door. And
when your father pampers you your whole life, you will get a certain FBI attitude.
Yeah.
All right.
Watch him.
They both do sort of swagger around.
Yes, they do. They're very impressed with themselves.
Dominic can't help it.
Thank you very much, sir.
Sure, I'm a big fan of the show. You guys are great.
Well, I think you're great, too.
Well, Fred's very happy that you gave a good report on him.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye to you.
All the women can be said that Fred got married because he's well endowed.
Boy, Robin, that's got to kill you, huh? Well,
I never knew.
Is that the bitterest pill, Robin?
Behind that beautiful butt.
All right, Gary, let's listen to the rest of your EMS call. I am shocked by what I'm hearing. I really am shocked because I saw you in the room before you called, and you were there enough
and
to
you could see that he saw Fred.
Admit you panicked.
No, I'm not admitting I panicked.
Okay, fine.
Support you guys around, and they sent me and told me to call 911 right away.
All right, stand by. He's 60th Street and 2nd Avenue, but he is awake, right?
Between 1st and 2nd, I believe he is.
Oh, I believe he is. Why would you believe he was?
Why would you believe anything?
Why do you say you don't know?
You could talk to Lonnie. Why couldn't you get some information relayed back to you?
Gary, he was awake.
I know. Gary should have been. You know what? You know what? When they showed up, they took Gary off on the stretcher. Unbelievable. Yeah.
But Fred could have made a better phone call.
I know. You should put the phone in front of Fred's unconscious mouth. It's amazing how you get everything wrong. And this is, I tell you that this is not the first time. I'm telling you, now I have proof. Thank you.
He confuses everything.
That's just how he handles my business activities. This is why I'm going nowhere.
He's like a soothsayer.
Was Fred out immediately?
He's like a toothsayer.
Was Fred out the second he went down? Was he out immediately?
Yes,
immediately.
He was out.
He fainted before he fell.
Gary, when he was drunk, he was out.
Yeah, but I didn't see him before. I'm telling you, I only know.
You were there with us. There was a pool of blood around the guy. Why would we?
Howard, why would
we were standing with you discussing to call EMS. I said the guy is laying there.
Why would I lie?
Because you always have to act like you know when you don't.
Wait a second. Why would I lie?
Instead of saying to them,
you didn't know anything.
You should have said, I don't know what to say.
Why would I lie about a pool of blood?
Because you always give an answer when you don't know. This is your problem. It's like when I once told, I'll give you a perfect example of Gary. For a while, Gary used to answer my phone, and whenever a reporter would call, they'd say, we want to speak to Howard. And Gary would say, Howard is not available. Howard doesn't comment to the newspapers. They'd say, well, let me get a comment from you. Gary would say, no, I don't comment either. But Gary, what do you think about this? He said, look, this is the way I feel, but I'm not supposed to comment. So finally I gave Gary an order. I said, don't comment to the newspapers. 2 days later, Gary is quoted in a newspaper article. Why? Because Gary says, well, I tried to tell the guy I don't comment, and when I told him my thoughts, I didn't think he would write them down. He just opens his mouth too much. When you don't know something, you say, I don't know. You didn't know you said that Fred was not. So you would say, I don't know if he's in a pool of blood. I don't know if he's bleeding. I don't know if he's conscious.
Why are you making this call? Why wouldn't somebody just say, I don't know what's happening?
Shut
somebody else
up.
make
You
that
don't
call.
know anything.
Oh, come on.
Well, you know,
this is embarrassing.
Shut up. You have no clue, as
Oh,
usual.
boy.
You are clueless, Robin.
I know more about what was going on with Fred, and I wasn't even there.
Admit you were mixed up. You were mixed up.
Robin knows how to do everything better from her perch at home than she does in real life.
Well, come on, you were mixed
I
up.
could have made his informed
Then
phone
you should
call.
have, Robin.
I could have.
Robin knew more about Fred's condition than you
We
did.
should have called you, Queenie.
I could have said, I don't
The
know.
Queen. We should have called the Queen.
I don't know, just like you did.
He was self-conscious about his teeth in front of all the girls.
Actually, you lied.
There's a din in my headphones. Now, what did you have to say?
I said
believe.
you were probably self-conscious about your teeth in front of all the girls.
There
and you
were no
lost.
girls around the phone.
Oh, okay.
If I may defend Gary, I would just like to say one thing. He didn't lie. Sometimes he just says things that later turn out to be untrue.
Right.
But I love
Shut up, you piece of wood.
I love the I believe.
I won't be with you
I
this
believe.
weekend.
I believe that Fred is conscious.
In the Scores Club.
Yes.
I believe,
Okay, we will have an ambulance.
Why does he believe if he doesn't know?
I believe that he is not bleeding. I believe.
Then why are you calling?
You guys are jerks.
He was in the room. He knew what was going on.
I
He
believe-
panicked. He panicked. He won't admit it.
Panicked.
All right.
Yes.
That's it.
Stupidity is better to plead, I suppose, than panic.
I don't know.
You panicked.
Congratulations on turning a minute-and-a-half tape into a half-hour bit. You are a genius.
All right, thank you.
I believe that
I'll take
you've
the
done a good
compliment.
job.
I must say, you once again have provided me with excellent material.
You know what, Gary? Listen to this phone
I
call and say,
believe-
there's nothing here to be embarrassed about.
Yeah.
No, I said...
Gary got the call yesterday. Couldn't wait for me to get it on there because he was like, I handled myself so well.
No, Howard, why did you listen to anything?
I
It's
am
not true.
proud.
I said right
Hello,
up front.
operator?
I said right up front.
Hello, operator. There is red dye by Fred's head.
I said right up front that I had only been in the room for a second. That's why I said that.
Hello, operator. Could you stop and pick me up a burger? I do not believe there's any blood, and Fred is very conscious. Come on, you blew it.
I did not blow it.
You
I did
still
the
admit
best I could under the circumstances. I totally defend myself, and I say...
Why were you calling 911 if Fred wasn't bleeding and Fred was conscious?
What?
Why were you calling 911?
Because he was obviously hurt. That much we knew. He was down on the ground.
But why wouldn't
And
she
I
ask you? If I ask you a question, I'm going to ask you a question right now. What position is the moon in right now?
I don't know.
Ah, you don't know, so you say I don't know.
I believe it's
All right,
in
now I'm
the
going to ask you
sky.
another question. Now I'm going to ask you another question. Is Fred bleeding?
Right now. No.
Did you look?
I don't have to look. I know.
No, you don't know.
I
Say,
used
I don't know.
deductive reasoning.
No, that's what you used on the phone to the EMS worker.
And you deduced wrongly.
You just say, I believe.
Out of my peripheral vision, I can see that Fred is not bleeding.
Practice the sentence. I believe. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You say, I don't know. Or you say, wait a second, let me ask.
We were trying to get someone there as quick as possible. We were.
But how would you get somebody
on the
there
other
quick?
side of the club.
He's not sick.
I'm amazed they even showed up.
Oh, you guys are crazy.
I think maybe they showed up because it was Scores. They want to see some naked girl.
He was playing tooth knack on the phone. I believe.
A tooth knack. Hello, this is tooth knack.
You son of a bitch.
I believe.
You're so lucky we're separated by glass.
I am tooth knack.
Tooth knack. All I know is...
And you too.
I cannot believe that phone call.
Then don't believe it.
I got to hear it again.
I have to go. There's a naked girl waiting to come in.
Is that right?
I hope so.
I hope so.
That's the only thing that can rescue you.
Police 1092, where's the emergency?
Wait, Gary, put on your hat. Put on your tooth knack. Give the Gary Puppet his tooth knack hat. Unbelievable. I mean, I am really shocked. I had no idea.
An amazing call. That you got some help is amazing.
I know. I want to thank the EMS workers for responding, even though that idiot called. Gary was unconscious. I guess he had been drinking.
I don't know who they should have taken.
Wait a second. Tooth knack wants to say something.
Well, sometimes I make too many wrong mistakes. Yucca.
All right. Thank you, Tooth knack.
Yes, it's at a club called Scores. It's on 60th between 1st and 2nd.
East 60th Street between 1st Avenue and 2nd Avenue?
That's correct.
And what's wrong there?
Somebody fell down. It looks like they might have cracked their head open.
Okay, and this place is called Scores?
Scores.
S-C-O-R-E-S?
Yeah.
Only a woman would need that repeated.
Yes.
Yeah.
She has
every
to
guy.
repeat that address 50 times. Every guy knows.
Every guy has it in his wallet. See, if it was a guy answering the phone, would have been Scores. Okay, we'll get someone right over.
In fact, all he would have had to say was 60th between. They said Scores?
Yeah,
fine.
we got it.
We'll be right there.
First floor?
Yes.
What's the number you're calling from?
What's the number here, Lonnie? 42.
He has Lonnie there to ask him the number, but he doesn't ask him if Fred's bleeding.
421.
Hold on for EMS. Don't hang up the phone.
I won't.
Okay.
Thank God Lonnie was there for the number.
EMS Yes, 8629.
Okay, 8629. I'm 1092. I'm Manhattan call on the line.
Thank you. Call her a minute. And is the patient awake and breathing?
I think so, yes.
Male or female?
I think so.
But he clearly says he cracked his head open.
Yeah.
Male.
Approximately how old?
35.
What happened to him, sir?
He fell down, and I think he might have smashed his head open or something.
Or something.
Or something.
Fall down, go boom. Wolf.
He's got a boo-boo.
He has boo-boo, Wolf. He has a boo-boo.
A lot of red stuff by his mouth. I think he was eating M&M's.
A lot of bleeding, sir?
I can't tell. You know what? There's a bunch of guys around, and they sent me and told me to call 911 right away.
All right, stand by. He's 60th Street and 2nd Avenue, but he is awake, right?
Between 1st and 2nd. I believe he is.
He's awake, but I'm not.
I think Gary's asleep. I think he thought she said, "Are you awake?"
Yeah. You know, there are 5-year-olds who make better 911.
Have you ever heard the EMS calls that they play on the news after a 5-year-old kid is home and his father's asleep in the tub and they can't figure it out and the kid's like, yeah, he's unconscious?
My father's drowning and his blood pressure is 120/80. But Fred, I don't know.
Phone number 421.
I can't tell if he's bleeding. There's too much red stuff by his head.
Yeah.
There's blood on the floor.
I can't tell if he's awake or not. His eyes are closed.
Club?
Yes.
Okay, we will have an ambulance there.
No, I can't take it anymore because this is. Hey, Baba Booey Puppet. Repeat after me.
Okay.
I know nothing.
Know nothing.
And oftentimes.
And oftentimes.
A lot less.
A lot less.
In an emergency.
In an emergency.
I am worthless.
I am worthless.
As breasts on a bull.
As breasts on a bull.
The Lindbergh baby.
The Lindbergh baby.
Will be home any minute.
Will be home in a minute.
I am celebrating.
Am celebrating.
That today.
That today.
I have my shoes on.
That today I have my shoes on.
The right feet.
The right feet.
All right, very good.
Thank you, Wolf.
All right.
I just want to add one thing. If excuses are the nails used to build a house of failure, then Gary just built a skyscraper.
Thank you, Gary Puppet. All right, Gary Puppet making an appearance with his Karnak hat. What is it? Tooth knack. What is it, Southern John?
Gary's really mad.
Is he upset? What's he saying?
Can you believe this? Can you believe this?
But who can believe it? Can you believe it?
I can't believe
I'm laughing. I'm like, God, you got to admit it's funny.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe this call.
Get it on tape for the TV show.
I know, I told him.
Don't miss a single angry moment.
Are you going to put a transcript underneath the call?
But seriously, John, am I crazy here?
No, because
I mean, if he's asking Lonnie for the number, so if you don't know the guy's unconscious, why would you say he's conscious?
No, the funniest thing to me is that he says his head's cracked open, but he doesn't know if he's bleeding.
Yeah. So how did he know his head was cracked open?
I don't know. There's too much blood on the floor.
How can someone see through all this thick red stuff?
Another chance.
Right?
Yeah, no, you're right. But I'm sure that when Gary listened to this, he said, I didn't do anything
wrong. Do me a favor, run into Gary's office and tell me you just cut your hand off and tape him calling the emergency room. That'd be great.
Hello, this is EMS. What is the problem?
600 Madison Avenue.
That's a big problem, 600 Madison Avenue.
Oh, you mean Tom Chiasano?
No, not that problem. A different problem.
What's the problem there?
All right, listen. The guy got a little nervous, that's all. The guy got a little nervous.
I believe...
And in Gary's defense, he was terrific at the hospital.
I believe he's unconscious.
Who is that, Fred?
No, our general manager.
It's like Gary's making predictions.
I believe, but the guy's in the next room. What do you mean, I believe?
I believe he is conscious.
I see OJ.
I believe I see OJ, and he's looking real scared.
You need an ambulance? No, but I think Fred might.
They just told me to call 911. I don't know why.
There's a group of people in the other room just told me to dial this number. Who is it? They said dial 911. And And I did. Uh-oh. All right, come on.
Oh, no. Our good friend Dominic's on the phone. He says, he calls up, I want in.
Dominic, you're on the air.
You know what he just said to me? I'm not putting you through. I said, why not? He says, I don't want to prolong this. I had to threaten him.
911. Dominic, is that your weight?
Howard, there's a girl waiting to get naked.
Is it really?
Yeah.
All right, Dominic, I got to go.
When he got to the emergency room, he handled everything very, very well.
All right, very good,
He
Dominic.
even remembered Fred's name.
All right, very good. Thank you. Dominic Barber, bloated attorney.
Thank you.
I want in.
I want in.
I want them. In between mouthfuls, I want them.
All right, let's take a break, everyone. It's time to get serious as women want to take their clothes off. Let's stop with all the fun. Let's just bring that fun to a halt.
Can't we continue with Gary?
Well, after.
It's not funny anymore.
It's not funny. We played it out.
I just want to say one thing. Only one person ever understood me, and even he didn't understand me.
There you go.
Thank you, Gary.
I like how Toothknack wears his Toothknack hat underneath his nose.
Ow!
I think Toothknack will be on the E! Show tonight, won't he?
I think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Robin?
Yes?
Think of a number 1 through 10. Have you thought of a number?
Yes.
Okay, what's that number?
The number is 7.
That's absolutely right.
All right, Toothknack, that's enough.
I can answer anything.
Toothknack, see if you're the guy with his hand up your back can press a commercial down.